Okay, so we'll go ahead and get started. I might have to stop in the middle and let some people in, so please don't mind that if I stop in between. We still have a lot more tickets out for this event, so I suppose that people will be rolling in when they can. So thank you everyone for joining us. My name is Akriti Srivastava, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Daycare Owl. And I created Daycare Owl because I just found that it was really hard for parents and providers to connect with each other. It has become actually a bigger problem that's across the country now. It's harder and harder for parents to find affordable childcare. And the fact of the matter is that the system is actually broken. And even though the media is telling you right now that, oh, there are no childcare spots available, the fact is a lot of providers are actually sitting empty. And those two statements don't make sense. And so Daycare Owl is kind of a bridge in between parents and providers, and my partners for my company, because I want you to feel confident in using our products. So I'm fortunate to have found two people who shared my dream of kind of creating a better tomorrow, which starts with providing affordable childcare to all parents and providing providers with the tools they need so they can be successful, so we can continue to have more successful childcare facilities that are giving the best education to our kids. And so Garish Patange, my technology partner, is actually one of the first people to work at Facebook. Today, he works directly with Mark Zuckerberg at the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative. The Chan Zuckerberg Initiative is actually a nonprofit that works on making the world a better place. And he is the vice president of technology over there. So he definitely knows what he's doing. And my other partner, Doug Mockshma, he is the acting COO, and he is the COO of Miami Technology. If you ever have an Alexa device, he creates the hardware behind that. So it's one of the reasons why Alexa listens to you. So those are my partners at Daycare Owl, and a little bit into it, I'm going to tell you what Daycare Owl exactly does and how it benefits providers. But let's talk a little bit about why we are doing this event. Daycare Owl is a technology platform, and majority of our services are actually free for providers. Actually, it's free to register for you, it's free to market yourself, and we do these seminars for free because essentially the childcare industry is being failed. And when kids don't have access to childcare, they're being raised by a device. And it's a big overall problem, right? And I don't need to tell childcare providers how important you are to the fabric of our ecosystems, right? We need more providers. And so one of the biggest issues with the childcare industry is that the state still tells us what to do, and unfortunately, that is what the failing part is. The state tries to set a market rate for us. It's like almost like minimum wage, right? The state is trying to get you all into subsidy care, and they're saying this is what we'll pay you. They don't want you to market yourself. They actually, like, if you I'll show you the data a little bit, but basically, they're becoming an obstacle rather than an ally. Providers are being taught to hide their rates to keep subsidy rates low. So if an analyst has ever told you don't share your rates with other providers, that is wrong, and you need to report them, because that's called price setting. And a lot of analysts do that. We've had a lot of people actually complain about this. But essentially, the agencies try to keep you from showing your rates, because if the actual rates were known for childcare facilities, the CCRNRs in the states would have to pay a significant more amount of money for subsidy care, because essentially no providers would take subsidy care parents because the rate is so much higher than what the state is telling you, right? So this is why we've created Daycare Owl, to kind of levelize the market and give providers an opportunity to excel in their own industry and do their own price setting, like let the market set itself. Instead of like having the system treat you like employees. So if you actually look at the system, like how it's broken, like this is California's site, right? For a home-based daycare, if they don't know your exact license number or your exact name, they can't find you. So if the state is telling you, so if you go onto the page of, this is licensing's page, they will tell you, finding children for your facility. They'll tell you to rely on the CCRNR, right? The only parents who are using the CCRNRs are subsidy care parent. The average parent goes on Google, Yelp, something else, right? But the state is telling you, like, they won't even show your information. So if parents can't find you, how are you supposed to get noticed? How are you supposed to get the word out there? Most of us don't go to school to learn about digital marketing, right? We're not digital marketers. So this is why we wanted to put on this course, to show you how to utilize different tools, whether they be free or advertising, to market yourself, because you're not state employees. The state cannot simply tell you, this is what you're going to get for childcare. The fact of the matter is that parents are willing to pay more, and the state needs to put in more money into subsidized care. They shouldn't, it's almost like minimum wage. There's always a fight, to raise minimum wage, but the states don't want to, policymakers don't want to. It's the same thing. They don't want to put more money into subsidized care, so they try to get you to keep your rates low. Oops. So a little bit, like, just to kind of give you an overview of how it all works, right? So think about it. Here you have your small family home daycares and your large family home daycares, and then you have your centers. A lot of us lost a lot of business to centers. Why is that? Well, the centers are big. They are advertising, they're commercial, people see them. Majority of parents don't even know that your childcare facility exists because you're not on Yelp. Yelp is not created for most providers because it asks you to show your address, and most of you will not get on there. I was on Yelp, I hated it. It was the bane of my existence, right? If I didn't maintain a perfect rating on Yelp, I may as well shut down. So, a lot of us don't like being on Yelp, and most of us rely heavily on the CCR&Rs to find care. The only parents who are coming to CCR&Rs are the parents who need subsidized cares, versus majority of parents who can actually afford childcare. They're going online, they're going to Google, they're going to Yelp, they're going to Nextdoor. And if you are not on these platforms to be found, you're lost. You're lost. All you're going to get are calls for subsidy parents from the CCR&R, or even if you're not, some of us aren't even enrolled with the CCR&R, you're not going to get any calls. So it's really important that you set yourself up online. Now, before I get into the whole marketing part of things, I've given you a lot of information about the CCR&R's analysts. We've teamed up with DC Insurance to create the first ever childcare watchdog. If an analyst has ever told you that you shouldn't share your rates, if you ever feel like you were kind of dinged for something that isn't applicable, or you feel like the policy says something and an analyst misled you. If you ever feel like something wasn't right in the childcare industry, whether it be with a CCR&R, whether it be with licensing, whether it be with your food provider, please report them to the Childcare Watchdog. We are doing a program of data collection and analysis and advocacy. We've already had multiple reports on these, by the way, most of them around price setting. And that's why we know where our data is coming from. But Daycare Insurance Services is joining us on there because it is harder and harder. It's getting harder and harder to kind of insure daycares, because unfortunately they're going through so many lawsuits, and a lot of them are because of licensing. Licensing is putting a lot of daycares out of business. So it's very important that we as an industry have some place that we can report to, some place that advocates for us. We're going to create a quarterly report on this that you can check out. So if you ever feel like that something is amiss, please report to the watchdog, because this reveals a pattern. One entry may not get anything, but when we have 10 people reporting from the same area about a same analyst, it says something. So moving on finally to, let's escape out of here. All right, here we go. So how to market your daycare online and keep it full, right? You're going to become your own marketing department. In order for the childcare industry to succeed, we have to treat ourselves as businesses, and you have to treat yourself as any business would, which is with a business plan. You need to have the proper paperwork, you need to carry insurances, you need to use the proper tools, and you need to have a marketing plan. Marketing is the lifeblood of any business. You can have the greatest idea in the world, but it will just sit there if you are not able to market it. Right? So it's very important that you have a plan for marketing. I will have this video up online on YouTube later, but this is kind of for you to see, but this is kind of like the basic outline of a marketing plan, right? First, you have to define your goals and strategy. Then you have to define what is your plan here, right? So goals and strategies are very important. You want to have attainable goals. You want to have measurable goals, right? You can't just say, I'm going to make $200,000 this year. Has that ever happened before? What is your plan to get there? You can't say, I want to fill my daycare and I want to do it within a 6-month period, and here's my plan to do it. That is a plan of action. That's an actionable plan that you can measure around. Well, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to get new customers? Are you trying to grow maybe your drop-in business? Are you trying to sell more after-school care? Well, what is your plan here? Are you trying to grow your brand? And that a lot of childcare facilities are doing that, and they're very the facilities that try to grow their brand. And yes, you are a brand. Those facilities succeed the most because guess what? They're putting content out there. They're putting videos out there. They're putting blogs out there, and they're becoming more and more noticeable to the public around them, right? Their name is trending. The parents are seeing them. So creating a brand is absolutely something that a facility should try to do. And then how will you accomplish your goals, right? And so the next thing is the reach. How will you grow your audience? What are your marketing channels? And do you have a marketing budget? You can do a lot of scruffy marketing. There's a lot of listings you can put up that are free that just sit there, right? And you don't have to pay anything for them. So you could definitely do a lot of that. And then you can also do paid advertising. Maybe a time comes up where like, oh gosh, I've got 2 openings coming up. I really need to fill these spots. So you decide I can do a little bit of paid advertising right now for, it can be anything from like $30 to $100, maybe even less, right? And you have those options open to you. And then what are you marketing, right? So are you marketing, again, is it a date night care? Is it a full-time care spot? Are you just letting people know about summer camp, right? What are the images? What is the content being tacked on with it? What is your messaging, right? Nice and sweet and simple. Create messaging that resonates with parents. So when you're writing an ad, take your daycare ad off and put your parent hat on and be like, what would I want to hear as a parent, right? Or like, what would resonate with me like that to bring my child into this place? How are you tracking your stats, right? So this is very important. And a lot of us don't think about this. We just put up a post and it's fine. We put up a post and maybe we get some traction from it, maybe we don't. And we don't think about where we're posting it. And then we post again and we get no traction from it. It's like, well, why did that happen? Sometimes just as little as what time you posted, right? What groups you posted in, what channels you posted in. If you're seeing success somewhere, you want to be able to replicate that. So that's where your stats and analytics come into play. And then converting potential customers or parents into the potential customers, excuse me. So this is very important, right? You can put all of these things up. Daycare Owl helps you get a lot of parents like viewing your page, visiting your page, but you're the end person that has to we can put in the hook, but you're the one that has to reel them in, right? So when you get that first phone call for them, are you ready with your pitch, right? Do you know your stuff inside and out? Are you driving the conversation? Do you have a pitch ready, right? It may or maybe not think, well, I'm not a salesperson. Yes, you are. Every single one of you is a salesperson for your business. And you have to put that hat on to sell what is the best part of your business from the moment they call. And then finally, how will you retain customers, right? Just because a child left your daycare doesn't mean that they can't come back, right? Their kids need to be in childcare for a very long time, up until like they're 12. And so there's a lot of opportunity for kids to always come back. There's a lot of opportunities for drop-in care. There's a lot of opportunities for old customers to refer new customers to you. So it's a lot to think about, but there's definitely easy ways to do it. And then finally, how will you increase your brand loyalty? And that's, we talked about building your brand, right? So what am I doing to, even when I'm not marketing, like I'm not trying to actively recruit parents, maybe you make Instagram videos, right? Maybe you're putting up Facebook posts. Like, what are you doing to stay actively posting? Because those are the things that help you kind of stand out in a Google search, right? And that's what you want. You want to stand out from the crowd. And when you build a brand loyalty, you are able to do that. So the channels that we're going to be looking at is one, Daycare Owl, of course. We're going to be talking about Nextdoor. We're going to be talking about Facebook, Mailchimp, and Google Ads, and Instagram and Facebook kind of hand in hand, since they're the first company. So hello. So Daycare Owl, again, is 100% free for licensed childcare providers. We help parents easily find your facility. The Daycare Owl page, and actually, let me just go ahead and show you guys. So we'll go over here. So this is the Daycare Owl homepage. A parent can basically come in here and search for free. What is going on here? Long Beach, California. And they can find all the facilities in their area with your contact information for free. You can put up pictures. It helps you determine an average rate. You can put up an about us, opening hours, amenities. Unlike Yelp, we don't ask you to show your full address. You only show your city and your zip and your phone number and your license number and the number of children you have. You can also list open spots directly for parents to purchase. So you keep 100% of whatever you list over here, but basically you're on demand, you're drop-in parents, any parent who has been to your facility, you just let them know you've got a spot up and they can come in here, they can book it, they can check out, and you have the ability to accept or deny it. Let me show you the back end. So this is what a provider sees when they register with Daycare Owl. And again, this is all free to you. We give you complete analytics. And this is, again, what we said, it's very important. Let's say you posted on Facebook and you took your Daycare Owl link and you posted it on Facebook and you said, I have openings, and you posted it Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. And then you posted it in a mom's group in Facebook. And then you can come back and see how many people actually clicked on that link. Okay, should I have posted Tuesday at 6 p.m.? Believe it or not, those times make a difference. A post only stays relevant for so long. So playing around which time to post is actually very important because you can see how many people are coming to your page and how many people are clicking on it. Now, the other thing to take away from here is if you get a lot of clicks but no calls, that means you had them with your messaging, but maybe you lost them on your homepage information, right? Could you put up more pictures? Could you write a better about us, right? You had them at one point, but then you lost them at another. So where exactly can we be better? You're always welcome to schedule a one-on-one demo for us. We help providers walk through all of this, including setup. Your Daycare Owl page, again, acts like your own web page. So all this information you can populate on your own. You can put up your about us. You can upload a logo, your address, images. Right here, we give you a publicity waiver. If you're ever putting up an image of a child, you need to have this publicity waiver signed by the parent, and you need to keep it in the child's folder. You don't need to put it back here. This protects you across all platforms, not just Daycare Owl. And if you are planning to grow your brand, you should actually definitely have these and definitely take pictures whenever you can, because you do want to have that Instagram that Instagram profile, you want to have that Facebook profile, and wherever you can post, you do want to post. So that is available for you to, and lastly, this waiver was actually created by an attorney. So this is not something we just picked off the internet. This is a formal waiver. One of the biggest reasons providers lose a lawsuit, providers get taken to court a lot, is because we don't have the proper paperwork on file. So please make sure you have the proper paperwork on file. Over here, you can upload your files. You can add your opening hours, capacity, and amenities. But down here, and this is very important, you can add all of the other links that are important to you. And we highly recommend you do, because these are the things that make you, it's called SEO, search engine optimization, right? So now when a parent clicks on this, they'll also see your website address. They'll also see your Facebook link. If you have Yelp, they'll also see that. And they click on all of those, you're getting noticed, right? Your name is popping up more and more on the search engine, and that's what you want. So Daycare Owl is a complete way to encapsulate all of your info, as well as sell open spots. Parents can actually message you directly through the platform. I'm not going to go through the full demo. I just want to show you everything you can do. This is where you basically create spots. And then also, you can collect tuition for free from Daycare Owl. So we have ACH payments rolling out soon, cash, check, credit cards, any option that a parent is really looking to pay, you can do that here. You can set up one-time charges. You can also do recurring charges. And we give all these tools free to you providers, because again, one of the things that we're trying to accomplish is to get all childcare providers under one umbrella, give them the tools they have to be successful, so that the licensed childcare industry can actually be independent of the states and be an industry on its own. So that is Daycare Owl. And lastly, I'm just going to show you, if you click on that eyeball, this is what this page looks like, and these are what all these spots look like. So That is Daycare Owl. And then the next thing I want to show you is Nextdoor. So the first thing you want to do is you've created a Daycare Owl profile, right? And now the Daycare Owl profile, parents find you a few different ways. They can come to our website and search, or you can share that profile on Facebook. The link, your Daycare Owl link acts as your own personal webpage. So you can share it on there, or you take that link and now you start strategically placing it at places where you know parents are looking for childcare. So one of our favorite ones, and the ones that we think actually works really well in all communities, whether you are living in the Bay Area or whether you are in a rural community, we find that people love Nextdoor. It's a great neighborhood app, and really for your provider, you should have a listing on it. So with Nextdoor, you can do two things. You can have a free listing, and you can also advertise. So you go ahead and we're going to log in. We're going to do single sign-on. So single sign-on is when you use your Google ID to sign in. And you can have a Nextdoor page. It's very easy to create a page. And your page has an image. It has an about us. It has comments you can post to, and parents just search locally and they can find you on Nextdoor. Nextdoor also has another cool thing, which is called manage ads, right? So you can advertise on Nextdoor as well, and it's not very expensive. So when you have a page, you simply go in and you click on manage ads, get started. What are you trying to do? What's your goal here, right? Increase website visits, promote a sale. Well, we're going to try to increase our website visits. That's what we want, right? So now you're going to give your ad a headline. If you can, put an hourly rate in there, put in something jazzy, something that's going to catch the parent's attention. And then you go into Daycare Owl, and again, you can either capture your link from your facilities page, or I just went and searched for it in this case for my tester daycare. And then you're just going to go ahead and click on the listing and take your link, because this link is all encompassing. It has your website, it has everything else that you put together. And then you put it in your click through URL. And then you're going to do a call to action, right? I want them to contact us, or do I want them to message me? Well, ideally, I just want them to contact me. And of course, you always want to have images to support your post. An image makes a post pop. So when you post something with nothing in it, it often gets lost in all the noise of the internet. So then you go ahead and go next. And now you can go ahead and you can pick your audience. And we like that a lot, right? Because Nextdoor is very isolated. So the more I scroll back and forth on that button like that, I can change how many people are going to see my ad. And you can, if you're a big business, you can go out really wide, right? But really for me, it's just the next few neighborhoods, right? 5 or 6 neighborhoods that are going to want to come to my daycare. And then you can select one of their budgets, or you can even go further down. So you can set a daily budget. You're going to be like, I don't want to spend more than $2 a day to fill this spot, right? And then you can give it a duration. How long is this ad going to run? I really only want to run this maybe until I fill it. So maybe 18 days tops, I'll see, or maybe even less. So that's $36, and that's really not bad. And I personally feel like you get a lot of traction through Nextdoor. And then you just go ahead and put in a card payment. Nextdoor is very secure, and it's safe to put an ad up there. And a lot of times you'll find that when you're on Nextdoor, you'll just get messages from parents too. In this particular class webinar today, I have not put together how to create pages. If that is a class you would like to see, it's more about running ads and creating listings. But if you would like to learn how to properly create a Nextdoor page or properly create a Facebook page, please go ahead and drop it in the chat, and we'll try to create another seminar. So then moving on from Nextdoor, we're going to go into Facebook. So a Facebook page is free to make. If you're not on Facebook, I highly recommend getting on Facebook. I know a lot of people have feelings towards it one way or the other, but as a business, you just have to think this is where the parents are. Sorry, is somebody asking a question? Okay. So Facebook is basically, it's free to create a page, and this is where all the moms are. This is where all the parents are. This is where all the parents groups are. It's a very targeted audience on Facebook. So we highly recommend using Facebook, create a free Facebook page. And once, and this is important to note, a lot of the work that I am doing from a desktop or a laptop. You will not see the same features on an iPad or an iPhone. They're not as visible or entirely there. So a lot of these things have to be done from a desktop or a laptop computer. So these are the pages that we have on Nextdoor. And if you go into Nextdoor, I'm just going to slow this down. This video is going way too fast. Okay, so when you go into your pages, you'll see Meta Business Suite. So when you click on Meta Business Suite, that is basically your entire analytics studio and advertising studio. It gives you a lot of insights. It gives you a lot of information about your page. A lot of times when you're seeing like something pop up about like, oh, this many percent, your face has grown by this many percentage on Facebook. You want to go into the Meta Studio or the Meta Business Suite and actually see what's going on there, right? So if you come in here, you're going to see your trends, your audience, but you're also going to see all of your posts. So once you go to see all of your posts, you can see which of your posts have performed the best. Generally, we are advertising through our Facebook page, and you can go ahead and boost that post, or you can create another post and boost it from here. Now, the thing between Nextdoor and all these things kind of like they work the same, right? So now you're going to go into kind of, this is how the post looks on Facebook. You're going to see an ad preview. It has goals again. What is my goal here? I want to get more engagement. I want to get more visitors to my website. I want to get more messages. And the goal is yours to set. And then you can create a welcome button also if you kind of wanted to. If you wanted to automate that process so you didn't really have to like talk to people and they can answer like the first few questions for you. I generally just try to set it so they call me, right? You want to be that first point of contact and we can set up a tour. And then you're going to go into your audience. If you've ever heard of hashtags or tags, all the audiences is basically tags, right? Like it's basically like, these are basically like tags we're putting in for people that we know these are the things they're searching for, right? So this gave me a bunch of tags that are popular in my area, but really like parents, like I'm looking for parents. I'm looking for parents with infants. I'm looking for parents with toddlers, right? So that is my audience in this situation. I'm looking for parents. Another thing to think about is like, what is my audience searching for, right? And put those in there. So what are parents searching for, right? That's going to help you pop up in results as well. So be like, okay, well, parents could be searching for, daycares near me, childcare near me, drop-in care. All of these things can be added to your audience for things that they are searching for or looking for. And then you can go ahead and edit the age of your audience, which is important, right? Because when you do a Nextdoor ad, it just goes out blanket everywhere. But when you do a Facebook ad, it's a little bit more targeted because they know a little bit more information about their audience. So you can basically say, well, generally people over 50 are not looking for childcare. So this is my age group. Then again, much like Nextdoor, you can set up, how long you want your ad to last. In this case, we did a total budget of like $15. So like, we're just going to do $15. And what's nice about this is you can actually schedule these ads for when they want to run. And then over here, I'm going to show you actually like how to create a post. And so again, you can put in, select which page, and then you can also publish to groups if you're already connected to groups. And it's the same thing, you're going to add your text, you're going to select media to upload. And that was a good one. So this is a really good one because, by the way, we have an entire content library of images available to you for posts if you don't want to create your own. So, if you're ever doing hourly care, I'll send you all an email after this that'll have the link to that. So you can just download those and kind of use them for free. And you want to put in your text, and then you want to put in your link, right? Because that's very important. So now that link is clickable. So you put in your text, you put in your link. This shows up as your daycare's own name. By the way, your Daycare Owl link shows up as your daycare's name, your own logo. And then we're going to put in hashtags. So hashtags again, right? These are things that parents are searching for. Daycare near me, daycare, childcare, infant care, center care. All these things are whatever the keyword is. And actually, let me go ahead and show you how I'm talking about that. This is how a parent searches for childcare. Daycare near me. And these are the top results they get. Winnie, We Care, right? So like, these are all the places that you want to be on. But like the other thing I'm gonna actually show you is how to create one of these listings as well. So this is why you need to be on these sites so parents can find you. So, all right, let's go back here. So once you can also share your ads. You can take the links directly and share them in Facebook groups. So you can take your Daycare Owl link and you can just go into join local mom groups, and you can basically go in and just share your links. That is a audience that will welcome your posts generally because they're looking for childcare. So if you go into Facebook and you go and you just look at groups, you can just type in, mom groups in your city and see what's available and join them all, and then see if you'll be able to post in them. So anything you're creating for an ad, you can just share directly in there. Okay. So next, we'll actually talk about Google listing. So I showed this to you right here, which was how parents find daycares. But let's actually look at how to create one of those listings. So it's google.com for business. And this is free and very easy to do. Parents are able to leave you reviews on here. So just to be fair, and full discretion, if you are on Google and you sign up for this, people can leave you reviews, much like Yelp. So you're going to go into stand out with a free Google business profile, and you just go into manage now. And we're going to put in Daycare Owl and business category, or do we're actually a IT. Why doesn't have that? Let's just do childcare. Childcare center. They don't even list daycare, so let's just do childcare agency. Next. Do you want to add a location for customers can visit, like a store or office? And I know this is very important to people, so you can say yes or no, but most of you will, this is why most people don't join, and it's only for centers, right? So you can definitely say no, and you can just put up your web address, and you can just put up that information, and you can just kind of go like, I am in Pleasanton, California. Next. Contact phone, website URL. You do definitely want to put in your website URL. This is where you would put in your Daycare Owl page. So you have parents have the entire thing handy, right? So they have your real-time openings when you list that page. They have your website, they have your Facebook, they have all the information that they need to find you. And I'm not going to complete this, but this is basically simple. It is the same as everything else. Once you go through this, you will have a Google listing. They will want to verify with you your address, so they'll send you some information, or they might mail you something. And then once that's completed, you have an active Google listing. But again, you are open to review, so please be mindful of that. And then finally, we're going to come back. And then once you have a Google listing, again, the listing just sits there, right? Somebody has to fall upon it, right? So you may have a listing, but it may be like really just buried, hard for people to find. There's 30 other facilities in your area. You don't show up in the top 3, right? So then you can do Google Ads. So let's turn this on. Dun, dun, dun. So Google Ads are super targeted and probably one of the best ways to reach parents. A parent will generally go to Google as their first source to find childcare. And if you're advertising in that area, you will show up on Google's search page, like right there. Do you see where it says ad? Like you would show up on Google Ads. So it's very direct. So just go ahead and you click start now, and you're going to get redirected. It's taking a second. Okay. So again, what are you trying to do? What is your goal, right? All of these websites are really nice and they make that marketing process very easy for you. And again, my goal is always the same. I'm trying to get more calls. I'm trying to get more traffic to my business. And you're going to go ahead and add your business name. And once you've created a listing, by the way, you can go this portal will be available to you, so you won't have to repeat this process. You can just go ahead and advertise, but we're doing it 2 separate ways. So this part here is cool. Google shows you how your page will look in both mobile and desktop. And probably not as important to you, but it's good to think about is that how parents look at your data, right? Where are most of my visitors coming from? Majority of your visitors are going to come from your phone, right? Or their phone. They're searching on their iPhone or their device. So it's important to see what, like if you have your own website, like what does it actually look like on a mobile, right? And then it'll also show you what your ad looks like in a desktop. So if you just put in your Daycare Owl link, this all shows up. It's all auto-populated for you from the link, right? And then you go ahead and click next. And then you're going to go into we're going to write your ad basically, right? You're going to, I'm just going to step forward. You're going to put in a headline. Make sure it's a nice short headline. On mine got a little bit too long there. You're going to put in a phone number. And then let me just skip forward here. Okay. So, and then once you have all of that, I'm right here. Hold on 1 second. Actually, went too far. So as you can see, everything that I've put down in the headlines here is what is showing up in the ad here. Daycare Owl, daycare, hourly and daily care available. Call Daycare Owl today. These are all, it makes it very easy for you to populate, right? You can't go over 30 characters. Here are your 4 choices to things to put down. Here's what your description is going to be. And here's the phone number. So Google makes it really nice and easy. And just go ahead and click next. And again, now we're going to go back to keywords, right? Add keyword themes to match your ad to searches. So what keywords are parents using to find you? Daycare near me, childcare, kids daycare, you know, depending on your program. Maybe you're an after school program, so you want to put that in there, right? Maybe you do overnight care. That's very like, you know, like what are parents searching for? Those are the words you want to put in. And you can do this you can put in other terms in there too, you know, like for example, YMCA, and you're just throwing something out there. Whatever a parent could be searching for that's relevant to you, you can put that down. And then again, same thing. You'll see all these platforms, you know, don't be intimidated by them. They all follow the same pattern. They want to make advertising super easy for you. They want your money, right? So they've made it really easy, and they all follow a very similar pattern, which is easily design your ad. If you use a link, the ad will almost auto set up for you. Put a picture to it, make your headline nice and short and sweet, and then select where you want to advertise. Then again, you're going to select a budget, right? Okay, I'm going to put in my own budget. I'm going to do $5, and then you're going to basically, like, that's probably not enough. It wants a certain amount. It wants 15. So it wants you to have a minimum daily average. So it comes down to $456 for a monthly rate. Google is definitely the most expensive, but you only pay if somebody clicks on your ad, right? So it is also the most responsive. It's the most expensive, but it's the most responsive. That's why they charge the most, because they know you're going to get the clicks. So if you think all you need to do is drive traffic to your site and you will 100% get the business, then this is the way to go, right? It's quick, it's simple, it's easy, but it is expensive. And then the last tool I'm going to show you is Mailchimp. Mailchimp is one of my favorite tools, I have to say. It's really awesome. It's free up to 2,000 contacts, and it's for email campaigns. And it's providers. This is not something we think about, but we have to. It's about CRM, customer retention, right? Customer management. Like, we want to keep engaging with our customers. You don't want to lose your old customers. So what you want to do first thing before you start a Mailchimp is that whenever you get a parent and you get their email address, start an Excel sheet, right? And start putting their name, first name, last name, their email address, and just, maybe the name or age of their kids, right? So, reference, right? You know what's going on and you don't have to go dig in files, right? This is a database you are building and it's very important, right? A customer today, again, could become a referral tomorrow, or they could do after school care. They can do a bunch of other stuff for you. So once you have a database, then you want to kind of like all your current parents, new parents, any parent who even tours with you, get their email address, right? And put it in here. And now you've got a little database that you can manage, and you're doing monthly, weekly email campaigns. You can send out newsletters. You can do a whole lot with Mailchimp. So let's check out Mailchimp. Mailchimp setup is obviously a little different because it's not like a listing. It's not, you're not advertising. These are email campaigns. So you're going to go ahead and put in your email, your username. It can be the same as your email password. They send you an email, goes back to your account to verify. Another thing you should do, have an Excel sheet, a locked document with all your email addresses and all your passwords for all your sites. That's the number one issue we have is on our site is people don't remember what email or password they signed up with. So you're going to go ahead and pick the free version, and then you're going to go ahead and set up your account, your business name. Again, put in your website URL. So I'm going to go manage facility. This time I did it the other way, and I'm just going to make sure everything's up to date. I copy that URL and I put it right there, and a phone number where people can reach you, and continue. You can put in your address, and then you're going to upload your address. So over here, you're going to upload your contacts. And again, you have a CSV sheet that you can do this from, or you can cut and paste them. Over here is going to help us to like best experience for you. What do you sell? Products or services? You want to do services. And then you want to just highlight all the right boxes and then pick e-commerce newsletter. You don't have to give too much information here. You kind of just want to get into the import audience part. And then from here, you're going to have a couple of different ways, right? Import from another service, upload a file, or copy and paste. Copy and paste is probably the easiest. You just click on it and you copy and paste all the email addresses that you have, and you can, as you need it, you can do that. But I'm going to show you how to upload a file, which is the proper way to do it. So from a CSV, and basically from here, you can see I've got the parent names in the first column and the email addresses in the second column. Ideally, you should have first name in one column, email addresses in second column. First name in first column, last name in second column, email addresses in third column. You don't need to add the children's information in here. You just want to assign a first and last name to each email address. So when you send out an email, it actually says the parent's name, so it's personalized. And then you're going to go ahead and upload the CSV file. Continue. There you go. I had an Excel file first. I didn't like that. Okay. And then you're going to create a tag, right? So what is a tag? Well, as your company grows, as your business grows, maybe you have a newsletter for your employees, right? And if it's under 2,000, you can do that from here too. So you want to upload your customers as customers. So the tags that you want to give all of these contacts is basically customers. And then you're going to go to matching. So right here, if you see this first left-hand column, I probably didn't map it, but I should have mapped it to first name. And that way, and it gives you a box to do that. You map it to first name, because this is the parent's first name, and then the email address, it'll figure out by itself. But that'll ensure that the email always goes out with the parent's first name, so it's personalized. And then you import the contacts, and that's basically it. Now you have a database that you've started. And then to create a campaign, you basically edit recipients and you select who you want to send it to. Do you want to send it to your staff? Are you sending it to customers? So we're going to send it to customers. And then you're going to do the from. So you can either, have it from your personal one, or maybe you have a professional email for your website, which is, your name, your website name, and or info at website, right? So you can change that. You can also add the subject and the content for the email. So we're going to do date night, right? Maybe you're running a date night this Friday and you want to let all your parents know. $10 per hour date night. The preview text is super important Because if you ever look at an email, there's, the heading of the text, and then the preview text just tells you what's the content. Majority of the time, you'll only read the email because of the subject line and the preview text, right? That's what drags you in. So they have to be a good one. So within those few little words, like how do you get them to click on that email, right? There's a step to this. The email goes out, then people click on it. Then maybe a lot of people stop. What do you get to do to get them to click on your web page next? So there's a lot of different steps, and they have to be like evoking at each point for a parent to be like, let me go on. Mailchimp does a very good job. If you see these like green arrows right here, it's telling you, okay, it's short, it's sweet. Emojis, it wants you to add emojis in small quantities. Space is limited. Like, you've done a good job, right? If you've met the parameters that it's telling you. So it's really nice, again, that these tools are actually very easy to work with. So now you're going to design your email, and you can do a classic builder. And it's again, it's simple. It's a very moldable template, right? You don't have to know HTML to use this. The HTML is being built in the background, but these are professional looking emails that you can create with headings, with images, with buttons, right? So we're going to add an image over here. Let's see. And then you can URL the button, right? So if you see on the left-hand side, it says, where is this button going to? And I can say, well, it's going to go to my page again, right? So we're going to go ahead and copy that page and then check to make sure it works. That's all set. And so now you see how that button has changed. And if I click on that, it's basically going to go to my web page. Over here, I can put in my Facebook, my Instagram, my Twitter if I have one. If I don't have a Twitter, I can delete this. I can add my LinkedIn. I can add more images. I can add more data. I can add a logo. So we're just messing around here to show you all the different things that you can do with Mailchimp. We're going to add another paragraph just to make it look good. And Mailchimp, again, they have their own template, so you don't have to design it as much as we did. You can simply swap out the images for and the words. That's it, and and the URLs, and you're kind of done. And then from there, you're going to see add to social posts, and you want to basically like you can connect your Facebook, you can connect your Twitter, and you can connect your Instagram to Mailchimp, which is very nice. So basically, when you send out this email, it will simultaneously create a post on your Facebook page, your Instagram, and your Twitter. So you don't have to do the work, which is really nice, right? And then you can also they have a content studio as well. So the content studio is basically, let's say you don't have images for your daycare, right? Not all of us use tools like Canva and things like that. So what happens is, like, if you're not using the content studio, you can use the content studio to basically create any asset that you need over here. And you can do a lot. And you can also have stock photos, which is very nice. So if you wanted to have, just one thing to remember is that people eat with their eyes before they eat with their mouth. So it's very important to have high quality images for your facilities. All right, so that is Mailchimp. The last thing I will say is that have your phone pitched down. And this is very important. We can only do so much to lure in the business. The actual point of sale is you, right? You are the person who the parent is buying into, and the first point of contact they really have with you, aside from your website and all your digital presence, which can be created by other people, right? The first time they actually get to know you is over the phone. So it's very important to have a pitch, have a script, know it, practice it. For me, it came like I just, when you talk to parents enough, a lot of the things become repetitive, but put it down, put it in order, right? Be cheerful, be excited. I know, like, a lot of providers, like at the end of the day, you're tired. Parents call it all hours on the weekends. Have set times for yourself when you're going to pick up calls and not pick up calls. If you're not cheery and chipper enough to do it, don't pick it up. Let it go to voicemail, right? But you basically want every parent to feel like, they want to work with a provider who's enthusiastic, who's cheerful to talk to them. You're all going to be sales agents for yourself. So it's important to have, you never, even with a telemarketer who calls you, they're usually like chipper and excited. You kind of want to have that same mentality when you get on the phone with somebody. The other thing is to control the conversation. When I say control the conversation, I really mean like know your stuff, right? That again is about knowing your stuff. So it's about, but also having empathy, right? So as I've spoken to you, I've related back a lot about like, I know what it's like, and this is hard, and this is hard. It's very important that you empathize with parents as well, right? Being like, I know it's so hard to find childcare. I know, there's so much traffic in the city. It's so hard to get back in time. I'm flexible on my childcare. Like, show them where you're being empathetic towards them, right? And then my motto was always like, leave them questionless. Like when I got done, I had like a 60-second pitch. They called me like, hi, oh, what age group are you looking for? Oh, thanks so much. Yeah. So we're full service daycare. We're a small family daycare licensed by the state. We have a 1-to-3 ratio. We have 6 children at the facility. We're only required to have one person to watch them, but our ratio is better than most. And that right there, right, is something that makes me stand out. Right? Look at me, I'm already going above and beyond the standard. So it's very important in that first initial phone call that you tell them all the things that will wow them. And then schedule the tour, before they end the call, schedule the tour, or at least get their email address and like stay on their mind, send them a thank you email afterwards, and say, I do a lot of different stuff. I do if you do date night care, if you do drop in, be like, let me get your email address and I'll send you some information to look over. And they can be part of your database, and a customer today may still, they may need care in 3 months or something. So it's always good to capture their information and keep them kind of on the top of your mind. Okay. So I'm done with my presentation. I just have a few more things for you guys. So lastly, guys, we put out a lot of tools for childcare facilities, and we are doing our best to give providers the tools they need to be successful. One of our partners that we work with is Neurona Health, and they're offering a service for small family home daycares, large family home daycares, and commercial centers, which is a mental telehealth services for providers where they can call in their kind of behavioral health questions and talk to a medical professional rather than ask on Facebook. A lot of the times what we see in our industry is that we don't have any recourse. We have no one to talk to when we see behavioral issues with our children, with children in our care. And often when you try to have that conversation with a parent, it doesn't go well. So this is not about diagnosing kids. You can actually get on the line with somebody and be like, I'm seeing this behavior, and they can tell you different tools and techniques to make it work, and how to actually speak with a parent if you need to have a conversation about broaching the topic about, maybe it's a child needing some more attention or seeking a specialist. And then finally, please do register your facility with Force of Nature. We are giving away a free Force of Nature kit to every licensed childcare facility that registers on the Daycare Owl platform. You don't have to pay shipping. You don't have to pay anything. You register, and basically once you register, you're going to get an email from us. If we verify your daycare, you're just going to say, do you want a free Force of Nature kit? Is your address correct on file? You just write back yes, and we mail you a free Force of Nature kit. If you're not familiar with Force of Nature, Force of Nature creates a device that turns water and vinegar into a solution that is non-toxic and as basically strong as bleach, 100% safe to use around kids. It is EPA certified. I have been talking for an hour. I'm sure you guys have a lot of questions. So I'm done with my little presentation here, guys. Please do join our Facebook community. You can always schedule a demo. I'm going to put all this fun stuff up in the